Welcome Orlando Pirates side and Coach Wadu, who've played there during the week. So this feels like familiar places for Orlando Pirates, even though it's not home. Sticker, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Tato. And fortunately enough, you mentioned that the All Blacks and the Sharks played on that field the night before Orlando Pirates played against AmaZulu. But the field has recovered well. There was a lot of torrential rain in KZN, but they managed to somehow make it a conducive to playing. And I think, fortunately for Orlando Pirates, another few days without rain in KZN, it's going to make for a good playing surface. And if you look at Orlando Pirates, that's the type of football that they play, and they need a solid surface to play good football on.
Well, Jimmy, good afternoon. It sounds like good omens for Orlando Pirates because, I mean, the stadium is a familiar turf that you've played at during the week. And they do say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, so they at least might get away with more than 1 point that they got away with it midweek afternoon.
Yeah, no, of course. And thanks for having us, Tato. I think the advantage for Pirates would be then they didn't have to travel back to Johannesburg for this fixture. Meaning that they would have had enough time to prepare for this game. Chippa has to fly in. It obviously interrupts their planning. But having said that, I think the game itself calls for Orlando Pirates to respond, having drawn against AmaZulu during the course of the week, and they get to play at the same ground. Chippa comes into this game, they haven't won. They've drawn 2 of their games. They only scored 1 goal. So I think it's a team that they seem to have found a bit of balance at the back, with Pirates not having scored the number of chances that they created last week, actually during the week against AmaZulu. I think Pirates would want to redeem themselves in this fixture.
And more than anything, is it Orlando Pirates who need to redeem themselves? They are defending champions, or more of a Chippa United who only have 1 goal so far that they've scored in 2 games in the start of the Betway Premiership. I mean, their first game was a stalemate against Golden Arrows, and at midweek at Dobsonville, a rainy and cold one, it was also a draw for them.
I think the response needs to come from Orlando Pirates. We expected them to get maximum points being the champions, you know. Yes, AmaZulu will always be a difficult one to crack. They ended 4th in the Premiership last season. So you knew that you have your work cut out, but Orlando Pirates would have wanted to. And I think the performance in the first half, we heard some skits from the coach saying he never recognized his side. But if they took the opportunities, they would have easily been 3-0 up. And I'm talking of a brilliant save from Hanemup off the line. They hit the post as well. So you'd have seen Orlando Pirates up by 3-0 in first half, and then we would have been having a different discussion. But AmaZulu had different plans. They took their luck, not conceding the 2 in the first half, and then second half came out and then found the equalizer. So Orlando Pirates needs to respond.
Orlando Pirates needing to respond, but for Chippa United, let's also remind you exactly how they played at midweek at Dobsonville Stadium, a very cold Dobsonville Stadium, and it was Ntutuko Mlocha on debut who managed to actually get that goal. And like you're saying for Orlando Pirates, Stiga and Jimmy, Chippa United and Brandon Tritter would have felt that they also could have walked away with a good 3 points, more than 1 goal that Mlocha scored. Justice Figueiredo also had chances, so they also have a lot of complacency they need to sort out against Pirates.
Of course, and I think Mlocha has come into this game full of confidence, having scored that crucial goal. But also, you then say, what is he going to pose with Orlando Pirates defense in terms of a threat? A big boy has to occupy the 2 centre backs, that is Siama and CBC. If they do line up with those 2, it will then mean that he has to make sure that he stays in between, because he seems to be strong also aerially, as you saw in that overlay, the goal that he had scored. So he's a player to really look out for. That is from the Orlando Pirates team.
And you know, for Chippa United as well, you've got Mlocha, who definitely got onto the scoreboard. Like you say, they have to watch out for him. But they also do have the Stanley Nwabilis, the Justice Figueiredos. They've got quite a stealth amount of players who this season can continue on from last season and really try and show their mettle. And it's better to do it earlier on against the defending champions.
Yes, they have a lot of experience there. You mentioned a few. Mobara comes to mind, Mosele in the midfield as well. And we spoke about the likes of Figueiredo with a lot of experience. And this is what you need. Getting points early on in the season obviously assists you. Last season, Chippa United only managed to make 44 points, 28 points rather.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the magic number is 30, so they kind of struggle there. But I think the problem for Chippa United was they had a goal difference of -20. They only scored 22 goals, you know. So where's the goals going to come from?
Yeah.
You now have a new striker that can actually get some goals, and hopefully he kicks on to do more with Malocho. But it's a Chippa United that on paper always come up with a solid side. This year, I was chatting to Jimmy earlier, he was saying it doesn't look like a star-studded Chippa United, you know, and they're going to have to do something special, and hopefully that experience that you just mentioned will carry them through to safety.
Of course, Tika, and when you look at the number of fixtures that they've played between the two teams, I mean, there's 19 fixtures.
Yeah.
You know, and Pirates having won those 90 out of 26 games, Chippa only having won 4. So it tells you a story of how this fixture will be skewed towards Orlando Pirates having to obviously extend that stat that they've dominated Chippa United, and I don't see with the type of team that Orlando Pirates has that Chippa can stand in their way, actually.
I like the fact that you've already touched the point of... Well, match day 3 definitely did bring up some exciting results when it comes to the Betway Premiership 2026-2027 season. And I think most of that action and attention was down at F&B Stadium, where Amakhosi shared the spoils with the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns yesterday. But it was Usuthu who managed to get 3 points in their encounter against Siwelele. Rise and Shine could not rise to the occasion, and it was a win that Sekhukhune United managed to get there at home against Polokwane City. And of course, it was a derby down in KZN, and the spoils were also shared there. But today, Super Sunday action brings you right here to your World of Champions, where we bring you live action. It starts out at Kings Park Stadium, where football does return. And this time around, it is the Chili Boys playing host to Orlando Pirates. And then later on, you can catch the Rockets, led by De Hont, and he will be in action against the Golden Arrows, and of course Pitso Dladla. But this time around, it is a Brandon Tritter who makes Kings Park his home with Chippa United. Earlier on in the season, their second game, they played out at Dobsonville Stadium. This time around, it's Kings Park. Who's going to be the king in this park? A park where it's seen the likes of the All Blacks and the Sharks play action. Usuthu and Orlando Pirates share the spoils when it comes to midweek action. But I'm not here alone in studio. I am joined by an astute panel of Jimmy Tau and Stanton Fredericks, either known as Jimraro and Stiga. Gentlemen, that is Chippa United making Kings Park their home this time around. I unfortunately have not won yet so far.